Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It is Thursday, the 10th of June. We have one more whole day to wait before the Euros kicks off. I'm so excited. Listen, I've started listening to New Order, Free Lions, Badil and Skinner, doing the John Barnes rap. Football's coming on. But of course, this is the Leeds Daily, where we chat everything that's coming out from Elland Road, Thorp. And of course, everything Leeds United. We've got transfer rumours aplenty again today. Some updates on the left back. We've got some stuff from KP. Just loads of Leeds United related content, which is what you're all here for. Let's just stop chatting bubbles and get straight into it. So, guys, we're going to start, first of all, with the news that Tyler Roberts, the Welsh Dragon, has signed a new contract extension till 2024. Obviously, we were hearing on earlier on, a couple of weeks ago now, I say a couple of weeks or maybe a week ago, that apparently Newcastle were interested, and this was something that he was looking at. Was never concerned about that. Tyler Roberts has signed a new deal till 2024. Now, naturally, it's come with a mixed bag of a few Leeds fans, or it's maybe split. I'm not so sure. I'm really happy with it. Listen, he's a young kid. Bielsa has massive faith in him. Let's not forget where KP was when he was Tyler's age. You know, he's an international guy. People need to maybe throw a little bit of respect on his name. I've seen him in my comments already from yesterday's video. I've seen people message me directly, just say, don't get it, send him out on loan, all this sort of stuff, which, okay, I understand, but we've got to have trust in Bielsa. Listen, I'll go through the interview that Tyler's done after the fact once he's signed a new deal, but let's not forget the age of the kid. Let's not forget that what Bielsa can do to individual players is just approve them season after season after season. You know, this kid's got a lot in his locker. You don't play for your national side and play as many games in the Premier League for Leeds United in this current Bielsa side if you ain't got a bit about you. Now, naturally, as I've said before, I look at someone like a Mateus Pereira, someone like that. If I were to put me in Tyler Roberts' positions this time last season, then of course we'd have more goals and assists from him. But Tyler's growing, you know, and hopefully, and he knows himself, he's got to add that to his game. I think it's a really positive thing, 100%. You know, and I think I know there'll be some in the comments that won't agree with that. And football's about opinions, and everyone's entitled to their own. I get it, but I think it's a smart move and the right move to sign him on an extension. He has from now till 2024, and I believe by the time we get to 2024, we'll be signing him on a further deal as well, because he will have, you know, progress more. I'm going to go through some of the particulars that he mentioned in the interview and some key sound bites before we get into some real meaty transfer stuff. It's evident over the course of, like we say, over the last 3 seasons, he's shown enough for Bielsa and Leeds to consider him as part of their future plans. And they've put money where their mouth is and, you know, give him a new 3-year contract. And he said himself, look, I've come on massively. I feel like I've grown from a boy to a man. It's been that kind of transition. You'd have to agree with that. He's certainly grown from a boy to a man during his time at Leeds. Who can remember that first time? We didn't even know if he existed. You know, he was injured a lot, wasn't he? But he said it's been great to do that. And at such a big club, and a great manager has helped me improve my game and my life. We can all relate to that. I don't even speak to Bielsa. Well, I've never spoke to Bielsa. Closest I've got to him is having a picture of his tattoo on my calf. That's it. And he's already improved my life. So imagine being with him on a day-to-day basis. Man will be floating on air. Check that out as well. That's trippy as it's doing it again, isn't it? I must remember what clothes to wear when I come on this. He says he freely admits that he's yet to hit the heights he and his head coach believe are possible. So Bielsa's speaking to this kid on a regular basis saying, your heights are nowhere near yet hit. You know, he said, I haven't reached my full potential yet and shown everything I'm about. I'm about getting goals and assists, and I want to get more goals and I want to get more assists. I'm happy to sign, but there's a lot more to come from me. It's definitely time to really push on now. The first couple of seasons were tough with injuries, stop-start, by being fit all season and being called up to the national team, which I'm very proud of. And that's the real barometer of where you're at as a footballer. If you're getting called up to the international side, you know, say what you want about Wales. They've got some good talent there and some players that play at some huge club. And he's going to learn from that experience as well. Gareth Bale, Ramsey, Dan James, all these are the players that play at big clubs. He says, I think it's just having the confidence and the composure to pick that last pass, get that shot off, get that yard of space to get that shot off, he said, you know, and that's something that he needs to work on every day in training. He's even admitted to doing extras training recently to make sure he gets into these positions and he's more decisive and more clinical. And we know that's what I know from doing watch, that's my real key bugbear with Tyler Roberts, is that he isn't smart enough in them decisions. He holds on to the ball too long, he plays the wrong pass, or he takes an effort at goal. But again, that comes with maturity. We need to cut this kid a bit of slack, you know. I think that, and that goes for me as well, guys, you know. He says, I want to be more decisive, more clinical. That work will continue. I'm confident it will be shown more on match days next season. He's someone that's very proud. And he spoke about Bielsa, about how proud Bielsa was about him getting called up to the national side. He said he's someone that's very proud. He knows it's a big deal for you to get called up to your national team. He's very big on that, to be fair, said Roberts. And I think that's class. We know what he was like with Calvin when he got called up. He says there's a lot of the lads going away this term, quite a lot at the Euros, which is a big plus for the club. It's a great achievement. I agree with that completely. I think it's amazing that our lads are getting called up to the international scene. That's another reason why I'm getting carried away with this tournament, is that there's going to be so many Leeds United representatives on the international stage. He did say he still does the analysis on the clips from your national team, though, so there is no hiding when you're away. We should be pushing on now. We should be looking at European places and getting into those sorts of areas. It's another exciting season to look forward to, and I'm confident that the team and the club will be able to do that. So he finished up, obviously, believing that we can genuinely challenge for Europe, which I think that's what a lot of Leeds United's headspaces are in next season. And obviously speaking about Bielsa, and that he still watches all the lads whilst they're on international duty. You can imagine, like, I think it's Rob Page, who's the manager of the Welsh side, giving him all this information, then Bielsa calling him up and saying, bueno, Tyler, bueno. You know, I think that's amazing that he's still doing all this. But I suppose we as Leeds fans, if they're on the box, we're going to watch them. He has a keen, you know, he's invested in these players, you know. The fact that he's got him signed on a new deal shows you that. So why wouldn't he be watching them? Like, it's amazing. You can imagine him coming back through the Euros, maybe getting to the semi-final or whatever, something, having an amazing Euros, and Bielsa going, not quite good enough. No bueno. No bueno. It's just amazing. I love Bielsa. I just love the man. Now let's get into some juicy bits, guys. Let's talk about some transfers. We've got two left-back updates. My one that I want is Javi Gallan. Unfortunately, he's not in this conversation. I want Javi Gallan. But it's come out again that now Ajax are ready to sell Tagliafico for 10 million. And Leeds United's hopes of signing him have looked to have improved. As I say, they just want 10 million for the Argentinian international. Obviously, he did the double last season with Ajax. He wants to move on. And De Telegraphy from Holland is reporting that Leeds are keen to sign him for as little as 10 million. I don't think Tagliafico's the one, you know. I don't think Tagliafico's the one. But, of course, we've been linked continuously with him. And then we got an update on Perrault, or Perrault. I'm trying with my French pronunciation. But we got an update that Southampton, and I said this to you the other day, were very close to finalising an 8.5 million deal for him. The Saints were previously claimed to be in pole position by L'Equipe, and it turns out that the deal was imminent. You know, they're looking for a left back to replace Ryan Bertrand. He rejected a new contract. I think he might be going to Leicester. And it looked like all was done. You know, all was done. He was going to go there. I think we were at peace with it. Obviously happy with the Javi Gallan link. Me as a fan anyway, I was like, okay, Parade, yeah, that's fine. I'm more sold on Javi Gallan for the amount you're going to pay. I don't know if Tagliafico's the one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But then it was reported that there was an unnamed club attempting to hijack Southampton's 8.5 million deal at the last seconds. It suggested this club are negotiating a new, more expensive deal than Southampton. So as I say, Brest and Southampton were in advanced negotiations for Parade, as L'Equipe had said previously. But it seems like another club has swooped in at the last moment. And that name has not been confirmed yet. But it turns out that they're looking for a transfer fee around 10 million. Obviously, apparently we were, you know, sounded out of it. 15 million was getting mentioned. We were like, nah, we'll move on. Maybe there's been a little bit of that. Oh, we're interested in Javi Gallan. Then Brest are like, oh, what do we do? Oh, we're going to have to accept Saints. And Leeds are like, nah, 8.5 million. Let's gazump them. Maybe it is Leeds. I'm not too sure. We know we need a left back. That's why Tagliafico, Perrault, and Gallan keep getting linked. I expect one of these guys to be done very, very soon. Probably our first signing. I think you would argue it might be Jack Harrison, but on the international European stage, the left back's going to be the first one. I want you guys to let me know in the comments which one of them three it is going to be. I want it to be Javi Galán, but look, maybe we are that mystery club that are swooping in. I know Newcastle were interested in Perrault. Maybe it could be them. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be an interesting one, though. Another link, guys. We have edged closer to signing England youth international goalkeeper Daryl Ombang. You can see there the young lad in the blue Bradford City shirt signing a previous contract. Now, the reason I brought this because he has been touted at 16-year-old. He only plays for Bradford under-18s. He's a beastin' lad. He's 16-year-old, but he is already being tipped as the future England #1. So we are apparently closing in on the signing of the highly rated England under-16s goalkeeper, Daryl Ombang, from neighbouring Bradford City. Now, he's a regular for the under-18 side and has been since the age of 14. He's already been tipped for the top. He's been scouted by the likes of Manchester United and Everton. However, the Daily Mail are claiming that a move to Leeds is now close. As I said, it would be a massive feather in our cap, to beat teams like Everton and Manchester United to this lad's signature. Let's not forget we did it recently with the likes of Geldart, Greenwood, Somerville, Cody Drama. We're getting all this fresh, young English talent in, and I think a lot of it has to do with the state of where the clubs are, and obviously Bielsa. And of course, Daryl is beast and born. He's a Leeds lad, And apparently they were saying he's regarded extremely highly by Bradford and was actually tipped to even push for a first team place in 21-22. Now, let's not forget that this kid is 16. 16. He's been touted as England's future #1, and he's close to getting a call up to the first team at 16, guys. He's been cited by many as future England #1. As I say, he's been, scouted by Everton, Manchester United, and it looks like Leeds might have been everyone's signature to that. And it looks like Bradford City are obviously set to lose their prize youngster to the mighty Whites. I mean, why wouldn't you want to move from Bradford to Leeds? I mean, it goes without saying, really, doesn't it? But yeah, that's an exciting one, guys. Obviously, it's a long way down the line, but let's not forget, he's 16. Touted as England's #1 and was ready to play in Bradford City's first time. League One, 16-year-old goalkeeper. It's unheard of. It's unheard of. Get him a Melier in, sack Kiko off. Don't care if he's 16. This kid is obviously massively, massively talented. So get him in the door. And he's Leeds. He's Leeds born. He's Beeston born. You know what I mean? He's literally born at Elland Road. Make it happen, guys. Make it happen. Another one, guys, which, again, I think a little bit like the Tyler Roberts contract situation, will split the fan base as well. Leeds are interested in midfielder Harrison Reed from Fulham. Hey, I tell you what. Right, I'm going to do that one again, guys. So Leeds are interested in Harrison Reed from Fulham. Of course, Fulham were relegated this season. He was one of their most consistent performers, during their time in the Premier League. And a host of Premier League clubs are interested in him. He can play in that Calvin Phillips role. He can play a little bit higher if need be, 8-6 kind of role, hybrid. He would be ideal for me as a squad player to bring in and obviously compete with that. There was him and Guisa, a few others in that Fulham side that were good, and I was a massive fan of Harrison Reed. People that know the 1 to 11 that I used to do will joke that I'm a Fulham fan on the sly, but Harrison Reed's a big one for me. I know my good friend Oscar is a massive fan of him as well, and apparently Leeds are interested, having tracked him, with a view to a summer swoop. It's not going to be massively expensive. They're going to want to keep hold of him for sure, but surely Harrison Reed will want to play Premier League football next season. I think it's a perfect move for Leeds and for him. So watch this space with that one. Let me know if you'd be happy with the signature of Harrison Reed. Just finally to finish as well, guys, obviously we found out that unfortunately Diego Llorente was forced to leave the Spain's Euro camp after he tested positive for COVID-19. Really sorry to hear that. I hope he's on the mend and hopefully he can return to the Spanish team. I don't know if that's a possibility. Let me know if you guys know a little bit more on that. Also, really surprisingly, Rafinha's not being called up to Brazil. I think it's absolutely mental. I've been speaking for weeks about the potential of having Kuna and Rafinha on either side of the wing, and that would be an amazing thing to have. But he's not been called up, and Bielsa's been speaking about that. And he said, look, I've been a national team coach for many years. I'm careful never to say whether a player deserves to get that call or not. The right decision is with, of course, the national team coach, especially having a man as intelligent as Brazil has. So he was quite surprised. He did say, I have a deep knowledge of Rafinha's quality, but I don't deeply know the other players who play in the same position as him and are of the same nationality. My opinion is that he's a great player. Ever the, not to call anyone out, but me, I'm really surprised. I mean, maybe you guys can tell me more of what Brazil have to offer in them, wide roles, but Rafinha's had an amazing season in the best league in the world. So I really don't understand it, but Bielsa's been speaking about that. Just finally to finish as well, we've obviously getting close to kit season. And the reason I've done this is because I don't know if everyone's seen this, but of course there's been potential links of the new Adidas kit that will be dropping very, very soon. So we need to keep our eyes peeled for that. But just to give you an update, guys, that is the home shirt. This colour scheme will be the away shirt, and that will be our third shirt. Now, I know a lot of people you might get, I remember last season getting hammered for it, but Footy Headlines always get these right. They got last season's right. I remember putting it out and people going, whatever, it's on the back of someone's door. You don't know, no, ITK. Where were them people when it ends up coming true? I took some stick for the Meslier thing the other day. Meslier spoke in Le Telegraph by his agent and him. It came out of his mouth. The PSG were linked. But people go, oh, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about. Look, at the end of the day, I'm doing this from actual genuine news. Of course, some of it might be guff, but when it came out of Melier's mouth, before you start hammering people, do your research, check it up. But yeah, Footy Headlines, there you go. There's the home, there's the away, and of course, there is the third shirt. Big shout out to Alioski as well, who has arrived in Bucharest, obviously looking like a dapper Don for North Macedonia. And looking even slicker is your boy Mateus Click. I hope them boys have a fantastic Euros. And as I say, I'll be supporting each and every one of the Leeds lads that will be at the Euros, apart from when they're facing England, of course, if indeed they do meet. But hats off to them and good wave, bye-bye and all that sort of stuff. Hope they come back feeling fine. And I think that's it. I think that's it for your daily Leeds. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Smash a like on the video if you can. Subscribe to the channel, get your comments, and, of course, hit that notification bell. We will be live tonight at 7 p.m, me and the Before the Whistle Blows crew, looking ahead to the Euros, which obviously starts tomorrow. And I can't wait. Football's coming home. Football is coming home. Peace out. Leeds.